Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. It's good to be back.
It's good to have you back. We missed you. Do you want to tell our friends where you've been?
First of all, Ben Mankiewicz, Christy Lemire. I was in Europe. It was 9 days in Italy, 9 days in Spain. Spain, I was in Barcelona, all 9 days, well, 1 day in Sevilla and 8 days in Barcelona. I mean, enough with the Catalan.
Right.
I mean,
it's different from Spanish.
It's very different from Spanish. It's Spain. Speak Spanish.
So did you actually go and see Sagrada Familia or any Gaudi stuff, or did you just go to bars and look for
Gaudi.
It's so cool. Did you go?
I went to Sagrada Familia.
Okay.
It's very cool. You can do it in 45 minutes.
Because it's never going to be finished. It's not done.
Here's the thing. This is the Gaudi segment of What the Flick. By far the coolest thing about Gaudi, and who was brilliant, and he was making stormtroopers from Star Wars in 1880. And he's very different. I don't know anything about architecture, but I know that this guy saw stuff in a way that nobody else did. Forget all that stuff. Do you know how Gaudi died?
No.
1926, Gaudi's 74 years old. He's going to some church thing, very seriously Catholic, built the Sagrada Familia. And he's going to something at night in 1926, and he gets hit by a tram, right? The driver of the tram, because Gaudi had this long white beard, right, sees him. He's not dead. Hits the tram with him, thinks he's a vagrant.
Oh.
Moves him off the track, continues his route because it's a vagrant.
Interesting.
He dies 3 days later. So that part, I couldn't get past because they're like, yeah, and the conductor, hey, thought he was a vagrant, so he moved him off the track and went about his business.
See, Ben learned something.
I did.
We're very informative here at What the Flick today.
If he knew it was Gaudi, oh my God, then I might have called 911 or whatever the equivalent is in Catalan in 1926. Yeah, Novo. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So this is Memorial Day weekend, the official start of summer, although really it begins like May 4th.
I think actually the unofficial start of summer.
It's like February is when summer begins now.
For Hollywood's point of view.
For movies.
I'm pretty sure that the summer solstice does not take into account Hollywood release schedules.
What does the vernal equinox do?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure just June 20th is still the official release of summer. But
so there's a point, which is
the official release of summer, beginning of summer.
Yes, it's a long weekend. It's a good excuse to grill things. So my list this week was 5 kind of ultimate summer movies. I admittedly stole from my friend Matt Singer over at Critic Wire, who had a very similar question: what is a perfect summer movie? So I just kept thinking of them. Like, I came up with 5, and my 5 were...
First of all, what's the definition of summer movie?
Well, that's part of the fun of it, is it can be a lot of different things, right? It could be a big blockbuster,
big summer, like Jaws, the first...
Like Independence Day or whatever. It can be a movie that is set in summer. It can be a movie that maybe you saw when you were a kid in the summer and have nostalgic memories for, or it can be just plain hot. Right? So I have a little bit of all these things. My immediate choice was Point Break.
I love Point Break.
I do too, and not even in an ironic way.
No, I think it's just really, it's excellent.
Because you got your surf and your sun and your sand, and everyone's gorgeous and shirtless and beautiful in bikinis, and you have fun, badass, escapist activities like jumping out of planes, and that classic summertime activity of robbing banks while wearing a mask as the U.S. president.
That's right, and I think that I can't think of a better movie that has a better on-foot chase scene than Point Break. I mean, I think about that movie and I think about how well that's done, how well that's shot, how dramatic that is. It's a great scene. It's it's William Friedkin, but on foot.
It's early Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah,
so that's one. Jaws, of course, which is credited as being the original blockbuster, this little movie that became a huge phenomenon. The
original summer blockbuster.
I think, and I think people genuinely did feel frightened about going back in the water. It was more than just a tagline.
Oh no, I'm the exact age that if there's about a 5-year period where you might be too old to have it be affected or too young, you might be slightly too young to have been affected.
It came out in '75.
I was 8.
I was 3.
I went into the ocean at age 8. I was terrified. There's no question. And I didn't see it right away. The idea of it was terrifying.
Just the poster.
Yeah, my parents didn't let me see Jaws. No. So yeah, Jaws is, and also, forget sort of what Jaws has come to represent as that summer movie. Again, you see Jaws now when I introduce it to people sometimes who haven't seen it.
Oh wow.
It's great. It's a great, suspenseful, dramatic, well-done film.
The very minimalist John Williams score. So I also had 7-year itch just for very, very few things earn the word iconic. But the shot of Marilyn Monroe over the subway grate with the dress billowing is iconic. Long, hot summer in New York. She is the temptress upstairs.
The girl.
She's just the girl. She gets no name. She's just the girl. And of course, it's Billy Wilder. So I have to have a Billy Wilder movie on my list. And I had, what did I have? I had Do the Right Thing, which is not very feel good or upbeat.
But so summer is such a integral part of that movie.
It's like the hottest day of the summer in Bed-Stuy, and that helps fuel everyone's tension. And then I had, this is my nostalgic childhood choice, was The Flamingo Kid.
All right, that's
Summer of '84 is sort of a great coming-of-age movie. Young, charismatic Matt Dillon learns about life at the Long Island Beach Club.
Because, you know, Cenk and I on the Young Turks used to have long disputes about Do the Right Thing. I like it much more than he does because he, of course, doesn't like that at the end he does the wrong thing. That drives him crazy. But I like the idea of that, and so that got me thinking about New York heat movies. And I thought Dog Day Afternoon makes a great deal of sense for a summer movie. So I didn't make any list, but I would.
Please pick.
Those are movies. I love your list. It's all very solid. I would think I would never include a movie like Independence Day because I just don't think it's that good. But Jaws would be on there, and I would put Dog Day Afternoon on there. And then because it's also New York, but it could be anywhere, but it's clearly summer, and the stifling nature of the temperature. Any chance I have to put 12 Angry Men, Sidney Lumet's movie, on a list, and that's his first feature film. You know, those 12 guys, and it's so hot, and the way all these actors, they're so good, and Lee J. Cobb and Tugman, and they're like changing, and they're just trying to get a little bit the window, they go near the window. The heat has a lot to do with adding to the claustrophobia in that movie. So those are some that I'd throw in. And I thought about Body Heat too, but Body Heat I don't love as much when I see it again. Body Heat feels much slower to me than I remember it being. I was 14 when it came out. It was the sexiest thing I'd ever seen ever. Now I guess because there's been so much other stuff like that it doesn't seem as groundbreaking. So
Cat on a Hot Tin Roof?
Yeah.
Was that just like it's the South and they're drunk and?
Yeah, that feels more stereotypically summer than really capturing what summer is.
Yes, anyway, so please chime in. You guys probably have ideas of your own. What makes a great summer movie?
Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused, yeah. Any of those, like, it's the end of summer, we have to go back to school kind of movies.
Yeah, that would be a good one. But it's a great idea because you pick five, you know, there's hundreds that you could pick and make cases for.
That's why the game is fun. So please feel free to chime in. Have a good weekend. Bye.